Konichi, what is up, my grasshoppers? Welcome back. We got another video for y'all today. We're going to be doing a top tips and tricks video for your beginner Unite players. Now, this could be for veterans too, just depending if you don't know these or not. You might not, but either way, would appreciate the watch. Would mean a lot to me. Speaking of that, would really appreciate if you guys could like the video and subscribe. Would super appreciate it. It helps Sensei out a whole lot. And yeah, but without further ado, let's get into the video because I'm excited to teach you guys these things. Let's get it going. See you there. All right, let's get into the first tip here, which is going to be mobs and their points, or just the wild Pokemon and their points. I know some people like to refer to them as mobs. This is a very simple tip, which you might know of. As you all know, the objective in Unite is to score goals. And there's a little number above the Pokemon here. As you can see above this Apom, there's a number 2. That means this will give you 2 EOS points. So we'll go ahead and kill this here. Go ahead with our cute Eevee. Eevee's going to be our demonstrator, our volunteer today. Because why not? Eevee's so cute, right? So as you see, I killed it. I got 2 points from that. And now each Pokemon, it does vary. For example, the jungle here, this one has 4 it gives you. So if you kill this Pokemon, you will get 4 points. And to kind of keep track of your points, if you didn't know, it's right below Eevee there. If you can see kind of on the bar where everything's at, your skills and stuff, it shows 2 out of 30. The bottom denotes how much you can hold. And now I have 6 since I killed the Bouffalon. So if we keep going on, killing this will give me 2, and you can get to a max of 30. That cap goes up the more you level up and the more you increase your level. Basically, that will give you to a max of 50. So there is that for the score. Now on to the next tip. Let's go. All right, the next tip here I want to get into is just basic information on the goal here. So as you can see, it says 80 on 80 on the enemy team goal here. To break these goals, if you didn't know, maybe perhaps you're new to Unite, what you got to do is, after you get the points from said Pokemon that you kill here, and it adds up here, let me just finish off this beat so I can show you guys what I'm talking about here. You can use those points to score into an enemy goal. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this here. And obviously you'll have Pokemon here trying to stop you to do this. But for the sake of the tip, I'm going to show you here. You hold down the button to score, and it goes in. The more points you have, the longer it takes to score. However, the less points, it's a lot faster. So, for example, if I do this 5 here, this is a lot faster. Boom, almost instant, right? So the more you have, the longer it is to score, and you obviously got to break that down to 0 in order to break this and unlock the next goal. So if you didn't know that, there's that quick tip for you. All right, on to the next one. Let's go. All right, on to the next tip here. We're going to be talking about the berries. So these 2 berries here, this is also a very kind of obvious tip, but I thought I'd explain it. So these berries are here to basically heal you up when you take damage. I'll try to get hit here by this Rotom so I can give you guys an example of what I mean, just in case you might not know about it. It's going to hit me for quite a bit. Gonna do a little bit of damage because the goals also do heal you. That is another tip. Besides the berries, standing inside of a goal will heal you slightly. As you can see here, I get a little bit of blue heal, but the berries will bring it up. Now, something that not a lot of people do know is that if there's a goal broken, these front 2 here, namely the top and the bottom, you will not have those berries any longer. So for example, we're gonna run down here and show you guys what I mean. We have the enemy Lucario here kind of breaking our goals. So normally we'd have the berries right about here, but as you can see, they are not there anymore since the team broke it. And it goes the same for you. If you break the enemy team's goal, their berries will no longer be available for them. So I thought I'd share that. And yeah, let's go on to the next tip. All right, next tip I want to talk about is goal scoring. Now, this is one that a lot of people don't know about, and I'm going to kind of reiterate it that way you guys do know. So when you score a goal, as I mentioned earlier, the more you have, the longer it takes. However, if you stand with somebody here, you actually score it a lot faster. I don't want to say it's 2 times as fast, but it might be. But as you can see here, if I'm scoring, you can see it's a bit slow, correct? So we're going to watch. This guy's going to come here and check how much faster that is. A lot faster. And something else that's notified is there's a little around the bar when you're scoring near the Unite points there on the bottom. It actually will have like an arrow tracker that will denote that if someone's standing there with you, it's a lot faster. This also works for your teammates as well. So if they're scoring a big amount and you want to have them score more, you should definitely always be standing with someone to score, especially if they have a lot. Those big 50 goals, the 40s, they're so important. Having that extra person there speeds up a lot of that time in order for them to score faster. So definitely want to remember that. You got a teammate with you, try to stand on the goal with them as much as possible so they can score that much faster. All right, on to the next tip. Let's go. All right, and here's the next tip is something also super kind of obvious, but I thought might as well explain it just in case. As you can see on the map here, I'll make it a little bit bigger right up top here. The top lane is the overarching on top, the bottom is the bottom, and the middle is obviously jungle. So if you're unfamiliar with that, I'm going to kind of show you here. Top is along this path here, so if you signal that you're going top, or if that's the only one available to you, you want to go up that way, and you want to go down this way if it's bottom lane, and the jungle or middle center lane is what is through here. There's different mobs throughout here. And basically, yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to go over. I'm going to do a very specific video on lane and what you should do, what you shouldn't hit. And we're going to get into that more next week. So I just kind of wanted to brush up on, if people maybe didn't know, this is what center lane was. It's all this jungle area here. So basically, everything in the green and in the grass is what is the center / jungle. And this is your lane for center. And top and bottom, it's pretty self-explanatory. So let's get to the next tip. Let's do it. All right, and since we're in the jungle, I kind of want to go over the jungle timers for you guys here. We're going to time this up along with the bee timers. So basically what this is when you're in the jungle here, you kill all the wild Pokemon within here, if I can do it. The timers are very important. What I mean by that is the respawn timer. So once you destroy a wild Pokemon in the jungle, they will respawn exactly a minute after you kill them here. So this actually might work out perfect. So I killed this thing at about 8 minutes. So at 7 minutes, that Ludicolo should be right on back and there for me to re-farm again. And that's really important because you really want to maximize that experience. I didn't miss there. You want to maximize that experience and make sure that you're always getting that every minute that it comes off if you're in the jungle. Obviously, if you're way ahead of the team, you can give someone else it, but it is also very important for that experience. Now, it's the same thing for the bees here. These bees in the middle here are something that spawns at 7 minutes and 50 seconds. And when you kill these bees, they respawn every 1 minute and 15. So it's a little bit more than the jungle here. But these things are also a respawning wild Pokemon that you want to keep track of, especially since the bees give you a lot of experience for your Pokemon, and you want to make sure you're getting that as much as possible. So I killed it around, what, 7:15, so it should come back around 6 minutes. So yeah, just want to make sure you guys got a grasp on that. Make sure the bees and the jungle are very important timers in Unite. You always want to make sure you're trying to get as many bees as you can every time they come off respawn, as well as getting those jungle timer wild Pokemon as well. So yeah, there's those timers for that. And let's get on to the next tip. All right, so next one, I want to talk about goals and the shadow goals behind there. As you notice, the front two goals here, let me move my Espeon here. They're kind of lit up on the enemy team, the top one right here and the bottom one right here. The reason why these back goals are grayed out is because you cannot score on those goals until the one in front of it is broken. So for example here, I'll very slowly try to go here, and you notice I can't score here. And it's something you can't do unless you break the front goal. So once I break the front goal, this slow part too will also go away. It's kind of an advantage for the enemy team, right? It's there to be a roadblock, as you might call it. So if I score here very slowly, because I don't have someone with me, as we just learned, it opens up the goal to be scored on for there. So now if I kill this wild Corphish here, I'll leave that, I can score. Boom, I can now do that one. So if you're maybe wondering and you're newer to the game and you're kind of like, well, how come I can't score on these back goals? I know we're supposed to break the goals. You have to be sure that you have to get the front goal in front of it open first. Now the base goal it works a little bit differently. The base goal, as long as you have one lane cleared out, you can always score on that center goal. So you don't need to clear every single lane of goals in order to access that base goal. As long as you get one, you're able to score. All right, let's get on to the next tip. All right, on to the next tip here is about experience. I kind of want to mention something here. Experience is a little bit unique in here, but if you're a mobile player, it might be kind of familiar to you. So if you get the last hit on the Pokemon, you actually get more of the experience as opposed to not hitting it. So if that makes sense. So you basically, if you're in the lane with a friend and you want one person to level up more, you want to make sure you're getting those last hits because you will get a little bit more experience. Now, if you hit it and leave it, you still will get experience for it. You just won't get as much. So the last hit is very important to get, especially if you're, for example, a support character, right? You want to be giving those last hits to your attacker in the lane to make sure that they're not, you know, not under leveled, right? You want to make sure they're getting those last hits. So definitely something that maybe a lot of people might not know, especially if this is like your first MOBA, such as myself. That's something I wasn't aware about till quite late in the game. So I thought I'd share it with all you and just let you know. So those last hits are very important. You definitely want to make sure you're getting that and getting that experience up. If not, just make sure you hit it once. You'll get the shared experience either way. So yeah, there's that tip for experience. On to the next tip. All right, the next tip I want to get into is objectives. So now you'll see here in 2 seconds, the top and bottom of the map will have 2 timers. You can namely see a 26 on the top and a 25 on the bottom. So you'll have a Rotom on top and a Dreadnought on bottom. These are objectives known throughout Unite, which help you boost your team's effectiveness and level in a sense. But we'll get more into that right now. So basically what you want to do is, the ideal way is to go down first. However, like I said, we'll get more into that on another video, but let's see what Sensei's talking about here. Let's grab these bees here, get that experience a little bit. So the Dreadnought actually gives your team shields and a lot of experience. So killing this objective will ultimately give you a higher experience like gap over the enemy team, right? It's a huge experience gap, and you'll get the shields here as you see. And just a reminder, this is rewarded to the team who hits it last. So as you see there, we got experience points and shields. Very, very important, right? So if they're in a team fight, you got shields, you can feel a little comfortable. For example, we just got the shields. I can go in here kind of comfortably, although I am going to use my Unite move to make it a little bit easier. Gives you that shield, so it's extra health that prevents the enemy from hitting you. It's just super good to have, as well as experience. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right? So you basically want to always try to get that Dreadnought every time it comes up. And it's the same thing. It spawns on the minute after the first spawn. So 7 minutes it starts, and then 1 minute after that per each round, I believe. Actually, excuse me. It might be 2 minutes. I could be misstating that there. Sorry about that. However, we are going to go back up to here now and show you guys what the Rotom's like. Oh, looks like they got the Rotom already. So let's cut this clip, and I'll go on to the next objective. That way we're not waiting for it. So we'll see you on that one. All right, on to the Rotom. We're back here, and you can see he'll come on down like about 4 minutes here after we kill him. So yeah, I think it's about 2 minutes, give or take. So basically what you're going to do here is you want to hit this, and Rotom works a little bit differently than the Dreadnought. As you can see here, you'll get 20 for killing the Rotom, but what the Rotom does is it gives you the ability to score instantly, regardless of the amount of Chaos coins that you have. Points, excuse me. So you can see here, hopefully we'll be able to showcase this a little bit. So it drops the balls there for you. And as you can see, I'm maxed out at 40, as we explained earlier, so that's why I don't have it. However, if this Rotom goes in, the goal will become instant scoreable. Boom. So that lasts there for about 25 seconds. You can score your goal instantly. I'm going to actually break this if I score. Let's see if the Snorlax goes over here and scores. That way you guys can get a little idea of what happens here. So I don't want to do it, though. Maybe it might be too late if I wait for him here. Let's see. So he's going to score his 10, and mine will be instant. So boom and boom. Instantly. So that's why that objective is also very good. Ideally, you want to take the Dreadnought first and then the Rotom. However, I mean, I have seen both ways argued. It could be top first and then bottom. It's really up to you. The Rotom will also dunk 20 upon hitting the goal. So they'll hit for 20. For example, here we're at 80. The Rotom would hit, go down to 60, and give you the instant scoring, excuse me, for the 25 seconds. So yeah, very important objectives. You want to make sure, again, when they're off timers, you want to hit those as much as you can before you get into the Zapdos fight, which will be our next tip here. So moving on to Zapdos. See you there. All right, here we go here. Getting down to the last 2 minutes to Zapdos. What I want to explain is how Zapdos works. So now Zapdos is also another objective. It only spawns at the 2 minute mark, with the countdown starting at the 2 minute and 30-second mark. So in about 6 seconds here, you'll see, or excuse me, 36 seconds here, you'll see it count down, and it will spawn right here. Now, this is the final objective of the game, and basically what this does, it's very similar to Rotom, but it's like Rotom on steroids, kind of, right? So basically what it does is, once you kill the Zapdos, you're the last team to hit it, it will give the person who hit it last 30 points, and everybody else 15 points. Now, not only does one goal become instant score, but all the goals become instant scores, and it is crazy. So this is the objectives you really want to be here for and take. So for the most part, your team should be here around this time trying to secure this Zapdos and make sure you get that, because that's a huge advantage, especially if you're losing. You definitely want to get this to clutch up and come back and win. So we do have, I think I am in a bot match, so I think a lot of the other people are not here at the moment, but it's okay. We have a Pikachu kind of ignoring, or excuse me, keeping the Snorlax at bay here. So what's going to happen is I'm going to kill this Zapdos theoretically, and I'm going to show you exactly what happens. So Zapdos also does a little stun too. So boom, I'm going to hit this last. It gives me 30 points and drop some stuff around there. Everyone else gets 15 and an instant chance to score. Now, we did break all the other goals already. However, if there were any goals left, they would be instantly able to score. So I think it's for 25 seconds as well. And boom, just look at that, 100. The thing to note too is kind of going back on the score thing from the 2-minute mark onward, or is it below since it's counting down? Either way, from 2 minutes on, every scored goal is now multiplied times 2. So that is huge, right? Again, kind of going back to what I was saying, that if you were down maybe by a couple hundred points, securing that Zapdos could make you win the game. Dropping that 50 actually turns into 100. It's insane. So definitely an objective. You want to make sure you're always at the 2-minute mark here for the most part. There will most likely be a team fight, so you got to make sure you get through that first, but that's an objective you should be going for all the time. And that's Zapdos. And with that, that's the last tip. So let's go on to the closing remarks. You made it to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much. I hope these tips were helpful. If they weren't, hopefully it was a refresher. You learned a little bit of something. This is more for beginners and just people kind of getting into the game. But if you've been playing for a long time and you learned something, that's even better. I'm happy I was able to share that with you. So hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, hopefully you enjoyed the watch anyways. Anyways, again, just reminding you guys, if you haven't liked to subscribe, again, shameless plug here, would appreciate it. It would mean a lot for me and my channel, and my growth as a content creator would really appreciate it, and all the love. It would mean so much. But again, we'll be back with another video. I think our next video should be a tier list video, so that's gonna be very fun. And then next week we'll get more into a lane build, as I mentioned earlier. Want to be more specific on how you should be running your lane and things of that sort. So until the next video, take care. I love you guys. Sayonara.